Hello, everybody! My name is Charles Barton, otherwise known as Viridian in the Discord, and welcome to this week's Achroma weekly live stream over on YouTube on Sunday, the 9th of April, 2023. Happy Easter Sunday to everybody, no matter where you are around the world. Lovely to see you all. Let's start, as usual, by going through the chat to say hello to everybody. The question that I posed to you this week, I feel like it's been a quite unanimous one. I asked, if not Terra, which is our world, which realm does the Easter Bunny come from? So let's start from the very top then. So welcome in, Sarah. Great to see you. Welcome in, Lewis. So both Lewis and Sarah have said, yeah, Spiritor, cute animal with magic powers. Sarah specifically says that Spiritor hanging out with Fungua. Welcome in, Bo. Lovely to see you as well. Welcome in, Karen Wayward Nun, who I agree. I did say in the chat, but I love how Easter Bunny feels like a Flutterby thing. Eggs are Achroma, and the fairy tates helped paint them. That is like super cute. I want that to be a thing now. But you know, I push that it could be Wishwell because, you know, the bunnies like to burrow from underground. Could potentially be Curdle. It could be that, you know, that they somehow like, you know, cast a spell on a rabbit, or it could just be a magical rabbit. Who knows what else is in Salem Planum, you know? Maybe we'll find out in chapter 2. Welcome in, Heron. Great to see you. Heron, you think Wishwell? Okay, so it's not all Spiritor. Just got back from my parents' place. Yeah, ready to relax. Well, yes, welcome in, everybody. So whether you are new here or whether this is you know, whether you're here every week, as always, we like to start by going through what is the schedule for today. So this will be probably a bit of a shorter live stream than some of the other ones, as there isn't as much to go through today. But I will say that it will start, as always, with the Achroma news, where we will talk about all of the news that's happened this week in the world of Achroma, like the name suggests. We're then going to have a look at upcoming events, which just to give you guys an idea of where you could potentially see some of the Achroma gang in some of the upcoming events or events we have in store. We then always have a special sneak peek, which this week is going to be similar to last week. We've got even more alt art cards to show you and even more expansion cards. And I will be releasing the first clue for the Achroma Easter egg hunt. More on that a little bit later on. And then we'll finish the stream with some community showcase, as we always do, where we shine a bit of a light onto you guys in the community to see what amazing Achroma fan art, fan content, and just generally things that you've done for the community this week. As always, if you have any questions as we're going through, any comments, then pop it in the chat. It's always my pleasure to talk to you guys as the stream goes on, and it means that I'm not just talking to myself for the entire time. So any comments you have, please put it in the chat, and we'd love to get involved. So let's start nice and quickly with the news then. So, as always, I like to start with some Kickstarter news. A hunt time to become the hunter. Yes, absolutely, Heron. Absolutely. So, the Kickstarter news this week, as always, I'm just like to keep you up to date as to where we're currently at with the Kickstarter orders, because I know a lot of you are patiently waiting for many of the products. So, I do have an image here to show you. So, we have now started receiving cards to the store. I'm aware that we've got all of the unlimited edition commons and uncommons. I'm not sure about the rares and legendaries. As you can see by the picture, we have started to get some of the new expansion cards. Some of those actually might be spoilers if you zoom in close enough. Some of them you might be seeing today. So yeah, we've got a lot of them have been sent to the store. So we're getting really close to having the cards in store, ready to start the very hard work of packaging them all into boxes and sending them off to you guys. So it shouldn't be too much longer before we can start sending orders out. I think there are some unrevealed cards there. I'm not going to zoom any closer myself, but you guys can zoom in as much as you like and see. I do have a lot to reveal today, so maybe you'll see some more later. But yes, so we do have, like I said, cards are being printed. And some of you might have seen this in store the other day if you were there. Excuse the feet there. Some of you might have seen this in store the other day if you were there for the Achroma event. But this is only a small picture. But to mention that some of the Achroma merchandise that has been planned. Oh, speaking of which, where's my pin? I should be wearing my Fungua pin. I'll put that on whilst I'm speaking. Yes, some of the Achroma merch has been coming into the store. Now, the reason why we haven't sent any out yet is because Realm Runner Studios is very much on top of sustainable materials. And we also want our... Stay on top, Fungua. Don't fall asleep on me. We want our product quality to be as top as possible. So before we ordered a ton of the merchandise, what we wanted to make sure we did was order one of everything first and actually make sure that the quality is good. So, for example, you're seeing here in the image that one of our phone cases has arrived. This is one of the tote bags. So the merch is looking good. I don't know exactly when the merch has been sent off, if it hasn't already, but the point being is we are one step closer to having that merch to be sent to you guys, because we've now had the samples back and it's looking good. As you can tell, here's one of the little Funguar pins that I'm very pleased to be wearing. So yeah, that is that. I don't think I have any other Kickstarter news for you this week. Well, I do have something on the mobile adventure game, but we'll come to that in a moment. I don't have any specific news, but I'm aware the TTRPG is still being worked on actively. I know you guys are waiting really patiently for it. It won't be too much longer. It really won't. So, next on the new schedule is a bit of an update on the special events. So for those that don't know, we are currently running a 4-week-long Battle for Curdle Hill, which is a chronicle event to close the previous chapter of Salem Planum before we move on to chapter 2. Now, if you have not yet already seen about this event or don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about seasons and chronicles, then one of the first links down in stream is the link to the article that I wrote about it. I'm not going to explain it all on stream today, but go ahead and read that article if you want to check it out. But what I wanted to have a look at, as we will do on every stream, is the live Achrometer. So let's get a quick update. I'm pretty certain that hasn't changed since, but we'll have a little look. So this is the global Achrometer, which you can find on our website, achroma.cards, where you can see actively how many Chroma victories have happened versus Achrom. It hasn't changed since just before I started the stream. So we're currently on 336 Achrom wins to 335 Chroma, which I think a round of applause to everybody, because firstly, the fact that it's only been 9 days and we've had nearly 700 games is ridiculous. That's so cool. Secondly, the fact that we've had almost 700 games and we're practically even is insane. That has been amazing push from both the Chroma players and the Achrom players. It's great to see this push and pull. It has mostly been Chroma throughout the week. It's been Chroma for the most part has been about 10 to 25 wins ahead, but over the last few days, Achrom has pulled it back. But keep it up, folks. This is exactly what we want to see. And for those who don't know, the end result of whoever wins Chroma or Achrom will change the fate of Curdle Hill and Salem Planum forever. So if you want to know more about that, read the link down below. But the current scores are 336 to 335. We'll be checking back on this each week. Well done to those that have been involved in it so far. So my next bit of news is around the mobile adventure game. So some of you may have already seen this in the Discord, but I appreciate that not everybody in our community is in the Discord, so I wanted to make sure that it has been aware. So last week, we showed off a alpha preview of the upcoming mobile adventure game for Achroma. If you haven't seen that, then go check out previous week's live stream or the video that I cut of it on our main channel. Now, if you didn't see in the Discord, we did have to push it back a little bit. We were hoping to have it released by pretty much today, if not a few days ago. But it has been delayed until April 17th. Now, the reason for it, I think you'll agree, is a good one. And that is because the amazing animators over at Feral Child, who made the amazing animation for Achroma, they are making an animated ending, or animated endings, depending on how you go through the adventure. And we didn't want to, even though it's only the early access that we're releasing, we still didn't want to release the early access without those animated endings, as that is going to make your playthroughs even more worthwhile. So don't get me wrong, I myself am sat here desperate to play the mobile adventure game, because I still haven't played it myself. I've seen no more of it than you guys have in last week's stream, but we have to wait just a little bit longer. The 17th of April isn't that long. That's only 8 days. Only 8 days. That's not very much at all. But if we get any more news about that, then we'll update through Discord or in articles. And to be fair, obviously the 17th is still after next week's stream, so I will be able to confirm by next Sunday if we're still going ahead with the 17th or if anything's changed. But thank you for everyone's patience on that. If you haven't already seen in the Discord, in fact, let me see if I can quickly bring it up on stream. I probably should have done this earlier, but I can bring it up quickly now. Let me just open this link. There we go. It's not the best way to show the image, just due to the fact it's on my web browser. But if you haven't already seen, that is the image that Jack teased, which is a still from one of the animations to kind of show you just how cool it is, what we are making, and why it's so worth the wait. Lovely. Okay, so that is the mobile adventure game. Like I said, we'll get more about that as we go through. The next bit of news I have for you is a stock update. So I normally do this bi-weekly where I will update you guys as to the current stock levels of the Achroma cards so that you can be aware of what there is in case you want to buy them. So of the first edition cards, we have only Fall of Flutterby and Wishwell remaining. For Flutterby, there is 369 of the starter 2 boxes remaining. So when you consider like full collections are 3 of those boxes, you've got to divide it by 3, so that's barely 120. For Wishwell, there are 605 boxes remaining of the first editions. And of the Dexter charity cards, there is 463. There are no Curdle cards left. That's including collector's editions. And for Draco, there are no first edition starter packs, and there is only, last time I checked, there was about 5 or 6 of the Denizens boxes remaining. So yeah, if you want a first edition of the, no, Dexter is first edition. Sorry, Dexter is a once only, 1200, when they're gone, Lewis. Yeah, no, they are limited. But yes, for Draco, it completely sold out apart from the 6 boxes of Denizens. So if you want to get some of the first edition Draco cards, only the palettes, Entombed Elders and Lost Fairies, definitely pick them up now. In fact, you know, that's one of the boxes you can see down below, I think. But yes, otherwise, Flutterby and Wishwell still a decent amount of stock, and Dexter cards down to 463. Keep in mind, for those that may be new to Achroma, just to be very, very clear, all of the cards are being reprinted, apart from Dexter, he's a charity card. But all of the standard cards for Curdle Hill, Draco, Wishwell, Flutterby, all of those are being reprinted as unlimited editions. Those will be up for pre-order and then eventually in stock very, very soon. And then we'll obviously keep them replenished as we go. So to be very clear, you're not missing out on any of the core cards. But for those that want first edition cards, that's the stock we have remaining. Yeah, I have to get my second Dexter. Yeah, I've got a few Dexters. It's always worth doing it. Hello, the Wishwell traders. The amount of Wishwell boxes left still disappoints me. I love that somebody's made a YouTube account just for that. But no, I agree. I think the market stall has been quiet the last few weeks. The trade value has been light, but the summer is coming. More footfall. I reckon they'll go pretty quickly. Welcome in, traders. Hope you're doing well. Lastly, YouTube news. As always, we'd like to just double check on what's happened on the YouTube. Now, actually, we've released no new videos this week. However, we were close to getting one out, but it's going into next week. So I'll kind of give you a bit of a foreshadow of what's coming rather than anything that's happened this week. The final chapter of the TTRPG will be coming out imminently. I'd be very surprised if it isn't next week, but don't hold me to that, but I'd be very surprised if it isn't next week. And also, it might not be next week, but we are also working on a lore video. Thank you to everybody that recently put in their vote into the poll that we recently put on YouTube. We have listened, and I say we, I am working on a lore video for you guys that will be out ASAP. So yes, that is the YouTube news. There we go. And with that, that is all of this week's news. I did say it was going to be a relatively short one when it comes to news, but that gives us more time today to talk about the sneak peeks and the other things that you guys are here for. So next we talk about the events. Now, the events are no different than what I spoke about last week, so I'm going to go through these really quickly because I spoke about them last week. So for those that want to maybe catch us in person or support us at an event, the most the events that are happening soonest, I should say, on the 22nd of April, it's a Saturday, at the Excel Centre. You can catch us at Salute 50, which is more of a tabletop community, kind of war games community, but we are going to be there. That's the one in the middle. Tickets are available online. I will be there for that one if you want to come say hi. We then also have Comic-Con at the end of May, and that's in the Excel Centre in London. I don't know if I'll be at that one. I might be there just as a guest, but either way, come and see us there. And UK Games Expo, which I believe is in June, we'll be there as well. So those are the most... those are the earliest events that you can come and find us in the near future. If you have any questions about where we're going to be for those close to the time, feel free to ask in our Discord, which is linked down below, and we can let you know like whereabouts our table is positioned should you want to kind of beeline straight to us. I like the Australian fungi. Yeah, so something that we have noticed is that this early fungi pin, where the actual kind of pin is located, is very bottom heavy. Sorry, very top heavy. So he just likes to occasionally just go to Australia. But then again, he's a caterpillar. He can climb upside down. He's chilling. He's chilling. Yeah, he's just having a sleep. So that leads us to this week's sneak peeks. It's what most of you are here for, isn't it? You like the sneak peeks. Okay, so let's see. What do you guys want? Can I get the letter A in chat if you want to see the alt arts first? Or can I get an E in the chat if you want to see the expansion cards first? I will give it 30 seconds and see what we get whilst I have a quick drink. The stream is not sponsored by Fanta. Put an A for Alpha if you want to see the alt arts first, or an E for Echo if you want to see the expansion cards first. So Sarah wants to see the alt arts, Lewis wants to see the alt arts. Yeah, you're slightly biased, Lewis, but that's understandable. See if we get any more votes in the next few moments, otherwise we'll go. Mark, welcome in, going with E. Is anybody going to tie it up, or are we going to see alt arts go first? You're going to see them all anyway. Let's see. I should say, before I reveal any of them, I have not seen the alt arts. Well, I've seen the community ones, but I don't actually know which ones are being shown today. I've been just given a folder to open. And expansion cards I have seen, so I will be reacting to the alt art cards honestly, because I have not seen them. The expansion cards I have seen before, but I haven't seen them for a while, so I'll still be chatting about them. Excuse me. Which world traders? A, if it's Norso. That's a good question. I don't actually know. So, okay, let's go for alt arts then. So, starting with... So, it looks like we've got 10 cards to show. As a reminder, if you've not seen the previous sneak peeks of the alt arts, you can check them all in our Discord channel under sneak peeks, or go and watch the previous streams. So, we have... Oh, look at that! Okay, so we've got Sorcerer Preferius and Chief Detective Cronus. Okay, so what I can tell you, what I do know, is the Detective Cronus is a community one. That was drawn by our newer artist, Codex, or Lizanne in the Discord. So massive props to Lizanne for the Cronus. I have seen that one, but it looks amazing. Sorcerer Preferius, I believe that's an alt art. Yes, that is a, so for those who don't know, there are 3 categories with the alt arts. There is concept arts, there is cinematic arts, and there is community. The Preferius, I can tell you, has come from concept art. And the reason why is, don't leave the stream now, but if you haven't checked it out, if you go to Kickstarter and type in Achroma, yes, you will find our recent Achroma Kickstarter, but there's also the previous Achroma Kickstarter that they did a few years prior. And if you scroll down in that, there's actually a lot of concept art and stuff thrown in there. And I actually remember seeing this Preferius in there. So yes, that is a concept art, but it is beautiful. Preferius giving gremlin energy, he really does. But you know, we know that Preferius is a proper, you know, Dark Lord sort of senior figure, as it says in the Code of Occultists. So he's got almost this like ceremonial mask on, you know, conjuring this Achroma. Looks absolutely beautiful. So that was done by our resident artist Matt Vince, so well done, Matt, great job on that. And the Chief Detective Cronus, that was a community art done by Lizanne, so very well done, because both of those are awesome. Because a lot of people don't realize about Cronus is that it doesn't actually say it in her lore on the card, but you can, if you read some of the short stories, Detective Cronus's magic is she's a telepath. So that's where the kind of the line's coming from. She's a telepath. But yeah, that's really, really cool. What do you think of those ones, folks? Looks absolutely fantastic. Well done to you both. All right. Next then. Okay. We have... Oh my... Look at those. Okay, I have a feeling that both of those are the feral child animation. So this is from the cinematic. Wow. Well, I think so. The one from the right is definitely a cinematic. The one from the left, I believe, is cinematic, but you could convince me it's a concept art purely because of the line work. Not saying that it looks like concept art, but like it looks like Matt Vince's line work. I don't know. I'll have to find out. But wow, That's such a pretty card for Monastery Keeper. And look at that Tengri. I mean, that's the fight that happens on the main scene. Both cinematic. Hey, welcome in, Jack. That is absolutely beautiful. Wow. I think I can't speak for everybody here, but does anybody else feel like, you know, I don't normally play with Tengri in my palette. I don't normally play with Monastery Keeper. I don't normally play, you know, I don't always play with Cronus or Porphyrius. But like a lot of these alt art cards, I'm going to start actually putting into my palettes purely because I want these amazing alt art cards on show. I wish I was a Monastery Keeper. You just want to tame the dragons. Those are fantastic. Incredible work by Feral Child. Well done to that team because, yeah, brilliant cards. And everyone knows that my personal favorite is Draco Temple, as in that's my favorite chapter so far. So really pleased to see those cards. Fantastic work. All right, next then, let's see. Oh, nice. Okay, you're gonna be playing Tengri? Yeah, I agree, Mark. Okay, so these two definitely are from the cinematic as well. I recognize the scenes. So we got Sprat Moreo and Dr. Cornelius Hugh. I love these. Absolutely, just they're incredible. Like, Jack, I hope you realize that once we release these cards, people are going to want more, right? People are going to get hungry for these. I hope that our plan is to keep making more alt arts in the future because these are beautiful. What do we think, folks? What do we think? I like that we're seeing Dr. Cornelius Hugh's moustache from the side. It's much more majestic when you can see just how much it puffs out. Yeah, I really hope so. I hope there's ways to get more of these too. So yes, actually, that's a really good point to bring up at this point. So for those that don't know, anyone that has backed us on the Kickstarter that has now ended at any tier higher than the add-on only tier will be getting some of these OR cards in their orders. Now, if you ordered the Rise of the Realm Runners expansion or higher, which was the one that costs £148 or more, then you'll be getting one copy of all 48 of the alt art cards. If you pledged lower than £148, then you'll be getting 4 alt art cards per Achroma palette you have bought. So if you pledge for 2 Achroma palettes, then you'll be getting 8 alt art cards, and you will get the 8 alt art cards that are specifically designated for your faction. And for those that didn't actually back the Kickstarter or, you know, couldn't back as much as they wanted to, perfectly fine. These are going to be available once they have, you know, once we've shipped out the initial orders to the Kickstarter backers, they are going to be available. The current working plan, but be very aware, subject to change, folks, not in stone, but the current running plan is that these are going to be slipped into the regular Achroma palettes that you could buy in-store or online, and there'll be something like a 50% chance that when you buy an Achroma palette that it might contain an alt art card in there. Again, subject to change, so don't quote me on it, but there is going to be ways of getting these when there is regular stock, but there will be no guaranteed way. Like, you know, we are very strict that we don't like doing RNG when it comes to our, you know, our actual core cards, but when it comes to alt arts, it's fun to have a bit of, you know, bit of the unknown. What if you only back the TTRPG? Very good question, Lewis. You do still get 4 OR cards, but they'll be 4 random ones. Because they're not realm specific, you'll get 4 random ones. That Jack confirmed for me a little while ago. Good question, though. Thank you. So yes, very good. Sprat Morel and Dr. Cornelius Hugh. Let's have a look at the next one then. Again, I have not seen these. Oh my gosh. Okay, so these are definitely concept art because I recognize the drawing again from that Achroma Kickstarter that I checked out recently. We got a younger Spiral Traitoria. So I imagine that the person in the red cloak there, I imagine that is maybe King Craven Traitorius. And that's maybe him, like, you know, his dad's maybe just told him off and he's like, I want to go with you, dad, or whatever, I don't know. But that's really cute. And look at Wincy sitting there studying, being a good boy. Wincy always has his head in a book. I love that. I want to know who's this little cheeky fella who's lost his boots from a flight. I also really like these early concept wings. Keep in mind, this is all concept art from Matt Vince. I really, really like this kind of the concept art for the original fairy wings, much more realistic than the more, you know, these are a bit more realistic than the kind of more animation cartoony style that were eventually finished. But I really, really like these. Very rustic feeling. But no, very well done to Matt for these. Hey, I had welcome in. I know, look, it's really cute Wincy, isn't it? Absolutely fantastic. Wait, very well done, Matt, for these. Those are brilliant. Now, all of these I am going to post in the Discord. Again, link down below if you aren't in our community Discord yet. But I'm going to post all of the sneak peeks in the sneak peeks channel of Discord afterwards. I'll also post them on our Facebook and Reddit socials as well if you haven't checked out there. And then we have one more alt art to show you this week. And that is this one. Oh! Sorry, that was a bit of a reaction. Wow. Okay. So we have an incredibly cute velvet worm there with a little blep and a Torstein the Mighty. So I know that the velvet worm is community done. So again, massive congratulations to Lizanne for creating the worm. Brilliant little face-on version of the worm there. Very, very cute but angry, and I love it. And Torstein the Mighty on the right-hand side. Again, I don't know, but that looks like Feral Child. I think that is the cinematic one. But you know what? All of our artists are so talented. You could, if that was Lizanne, I wouldn't be surprised. If that was concept art, I wouldn't be surprised. But if I had to put money, I think that is Feral Child. I'm sure Jack will tell me either way. But no, brilliant card. So there we go. You did indeed, you did indeed get your wish of seeing one of the Norso Planum alt art cards today, Wishwell Traders. Torstein can hit me with this stuff anytime he likes. Yeah, we'll give you a bonk. No, that looks insane. Look at that. Yeah, Torstein the Cinematic, the Feral Child went hard. Yeah, they absolutely did, Jack. I hope that we've given them insane amount of praise for these. I hope that. Do you know if they've been watching some of the streams and seeing the community reaction? Because these are insane. But let's not move away from that incredibly cute velvet worm as well, because it's just what I really like about some of the community cards is we're just seeing like we just get to see cards from different angles, different perspectives, and it really gives you a new opinion on some of these creatures as well, because the original Velvet Worm looks almost quite timid, looks quite tame, whereas this one, you know, if you came across Velvet Worm in the middle of Curdle Lane, or be a bit out of place in Curdle Lane, but you get the drift, you know, you might hesitate and turn around. But no, beautiful alt art by both Feral Child and Lizanne, so well done to you both. Wow. Okay, so those are the alt art cards to show you this week. Absolutely incredible work. I believe there are still some that we haven't seen. Some of them we might hold back until we fully release them all, but yeah, very, very cool. So we now have some expansion cards to sneak peek to you guys. And then after that, for those that are waiting patiently, we do also have an Easter egg hunt that is starting in today's stream. Very, very exciting times. And I will say now that if you don't already know, the Easter egg hunt will lead to the first ever teaser image for what's coming in Chapter 2 of Salem Planum. Very exciting times. More on the Easter egg hunt very soon, though. Let's have a look at the expansion cards. Now, as a reminder, these are expansion cards. There are 28 expansion cards in total for each of the first 4 Chronicles. These were available to get in the Kickstarter, and they will be available to pre-order and buy in store if you missed the Kickstarter very, very soon as well. So has the alt art list changed because Spiral wasn't our Discord list? Maybe. I think I did get a message the other day, actually. I'm pretty certain it did change. I think it had to change slightly. But I will find out for certain, Lewis, and I'll update in the Discord very soon before I start rambling on stream. But yeah, I think it had a slight change, and there was a good reason for it. So let's have a look at these expansion cards. Now, I have seen these, so let's go through with them. So firstly, from the Salem Planum. So these are for Curse of Curdle Hill. We have Deadly Spores and Alchemist's Tincture. Tincture. I can never say that word. So all of the expansion cards that are coming out are all objects and actions. Keep that in mind. Spiral was in the list, definitely. I can't remember now, if I'm honest. So Deadly Spores is a 2-cost uncommon object. It's a -1 in the resolve, and it has a dispose ability of drain 1 shards from all characters on all canvases. Now, I know I explained it in the previous weeks, but I appreciate as it hasn't come out yet, there will be some people in the chat that don't know. But dispose is a new keyword coming out with the new expansion. What dispose means is at any point on anybody's turn, you can dispose of the card, which is essentially you've already deployed it on your canvas. You can then basically get rid of it, erase it off your canvas, put it in your dregs, and then you get the ability. So you would play Deadly Spores onto your character, and then at any time, provided it's still on your canvas, you can dispose of it to drain 1 shard from all characters on all canvases. So it's kind of like a a slightly weaker version of Drain the Woods, but it's also an object of power. So the other one is Alchemist Tincture. So this is a 2-cost uncommon object, and it has a +1, so it's kind of like the opposite of Deadly Spores. And as a dispose effect, you get to reveal an object and immediately deploy it for free. Reveal is also a new keyword that has come with our card erratas and some of the new cards coming out. Reveal means that you turn over the top card of your palette in order, showing everybody as you're turning them over until you find a card which has the criteria on the card. So you would be turning over the top card of your palette until you find an object, and then you would deploy it for free. The cards that you've turned over in the meantime would then get shuffled back into your palette. So I really, really like these objects. Both of them very useful. One, obviously, for all those drain effects, and one to be able to reveal an object and deploy for free. I like it. Pretty cool. Spores helps kill stuff off and remove low costs versus Pixies and Isadora. Yes, very, very true. Yeah, very cool. The next one then. Oh, I'm so glad that we're revealing these. I've wanted to talk about these for so long. For those in chat that love our good boy, the Green Raven. Green Raven has always been a card that has been good to use, but because the Green Raven had not very much has no resolve, it could, you know, it was, I'll be honest, it wasn't often picked, but these two cards give Green Raven so much utility. Welcome in, Richard. Great to see you, by the way. That Tincture is amazing in the right build. Yeah, I completely agree, Mark. So we have Raven's Eye. So it's a 2-cost object, but you don't have to give it to the Green Raven. When a character is erased from your canvas, you may look at the top card of its owner's palette. So essentially, let's say you've got Raven's Eye on your board, and you've got loads of characters. If you start whacking your opponent's characters, erasing them, every time you erase someone's character, you can look at the top card of their palette, which is really cool. It doesn't have to be from attacks. It could be from actions. And keep in mind, in a 6-player game, it might not even be my turn. It might be Jack's turn. Jack plays a fireball to remove one of Chris's cards, but because that's one of Chris's characters, and because Chris has had a character erased, I can now look at the top card of Chris's board. So it's kind of like a delayed Green Raven. And Raven Sight. This is awesome as an action. So for this turn, when you're able to look at the top card of a palette, you may draw it, which is awesome. So what you would do is you'd put Raven's Eye onto your Green Raven, or even just have put Raven's Eye onto any of your characters, really, and then start doing some attacks. And every time you attack and erase a character, you can look at the top card of that palette and then draw it. So you could have a one big turn where you end up drawing like 5 or 6 of somebody else's cards. It is a bit of a hard combo to pull off, I'd imagine. You know, it's not something that's just a 1-card wham bam, it happens. But really, really cool. Like Raven's Sight will only be useful if you actually have Green Raven or Raven's Eye out. Otherwise, there isn't going to be a time where you would look at someone else's palette. Oh, interesting though. Interesting that it does say when you're able to look at the top card of a palette, so that does include your own. But yes, two very, very cool cards that are going to make Green Raven really cool. Glad to see those being sneak peeks. I want to talk about those for a while. So next, now these two, funnily enough, these two actually were sneak peeked a while ago. We've actually seen these two before. However, before you guys were seeing the prototypes that were subject to change, these are now the final versions. Now, off the top of my head, I can't remember how Dragoontooth Kunai has changed, but Crown of Claws is a big change. For those that remember, Crown of Claws was the card which was you deploy it on someone else's character, and if that character is alive at the end of their next turn, the character is erased. That ability is now moved on to the crystals, which we saw a few weeks ago. Crown of Claws is now something different. So it's now 3 cost, and it's a 1 steal as an action you can steal. So Crown of Claws actually is a really good object for Drake decks because it only costs 3, but actually on the same turn that you're playing it, you're able to steal 2. So that's actually a nice amount of steal back. Dragoontooth Kunai is it's now more expensive. So now it costs 3 shards rather than it was only 2 before, wasn't it? It's a +1, and when you dispose it, you can drain 2 shards from any card. So it's kind of like a delayed Lakringi Catapult in that nature. Raven's Eye is a fun effect if the opponent has claimed a character or there's been a role reversal. As you look at the top card of the deck for the player who brought that card to the game. Yes, absolutely, I agree, Mark. Green Raven has a lot of really cool abilities, but because you don't normally get much from Green Raven, a lot of people don't run it. But no, very, very cool. Again, all of these will be in the Discord. So we now have so this is all Draco Temple now. The last two cards were Draco Temple as well. We have Research Assistants and Ancient Rituals. So Research Assistant, I love this one. I think this is such a cute drawing. I should mention that all of the expansion cards were drawn by our resident artist Marco. So well done to Marco for these. This is a 1-cost action, +1 for each card with research on your canvas. I love this because with the Denizens, there's a lot of research cards. Now, a lot of people use research cards specifically for the win condition of Vars Volataris, but unless you actually manage to draw Vars Volataris and get it out and keep it out, research becomes not as useful. I really like this because you could actually now build a full, basically, you could build a full research palette, and essentially this is now your strength in numbers, the equivalent of a card that gets you loads for dragons. This gets you +1 for each card with research. I appreciate it's only a +1, so even if you only had 6 cards out, it's only a +6, but that's still massive. That essentially pays for your next set of research. I really like it. I think it's a great addition, and for only 1 cost, that's good value. And then Ancient Rituals. This one is really cool because there isn't actually that much discard in Achroma. Like when you look across the entire Achroma spectrum of cards so far, there aren't actually that many cards that allow you to force someone to discard. I'd say off the top of my head, there's probably only about, I think there's only about 6 cards across all the realms that either force somebody to discard or force somebody to give you a card, so effectively discarding. So yes, this is another one. So you have to sacrifice. So you have to sacrifice a card in your canvas, and then for doing so, each other player must discard 2 cards. Does that +1 count cards that have action research? Yes. Yeah. If the card has the keyword research on it, it will count. I'd be surprised if it was. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. If I'm wrong, I'll let you know straight away, Lewis. But I read that as yes. I'd be very surprised if it wasn't. Would go nice into my Lost Fairies deck. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, the discard is fantastic. Really nice to see some discard as well. 2 very cool cards there. We got 4 more to show you, as in 4 more pictures, so 8 more cards. The next one is from Spiritoplanum. Hey, I've been wanting to show this one for a while too. I accidentally spoiled this one to Lewis when we were chatting a few days ago. The eggs! So Funguar's eggs. It is an object of power with poisonous and steel 1. So, yep, for all the Funguar lovers out there, you have now got Funguar's eggs as it's multiplying, exactly. Hey, wake up, buddy. Wake up. Your eggs are here. So yes, we got Funguar's eggs. 2 cost. It's essentially Funguar with a steel 1. You could even argue it's actually better than Funguar, but being an object, you have to have a character out to place it on. And Chroma Bomb, 2 cost. +1 object of power, which is fantastic. And when you dispose, you can splat 3. That's amazing, because essentially what you could do is on 1 turn, spend 2 shards to play Chroma Bomb, then resolve that card for +1, then dispose of it to splat another card on your canvas that hasn't yet resolved, then resolve for splat 3. So actually, Chroma Bomb ends up being a spend 2 to gain 4 on the same turn that you play it, if you really wanted to. There's an interesting rules question. Okay, no worries, Lewis. Fire it in the chat for me and I'll try to answer it. If I can't answer it, I'll hand it over to Jack or Chris. But yeah, 2 very, very cool cards from the Spiritoplanum. I'm going to move on in the meantime, but whenever your question is in the chat, I can always bring up the cards that are related. Next, still within the Spiritoplanum, we have Cutting Cocoons and Serrano's Glare. So Cutting Cocoons is a 4-cost action, so it's quite expensive, but allows you to erase a character or a location. So that is quite expensive. Now, to be very clear, because some of you guys, when you see Cutting Cocoons, you're probably going to have the same thought that I had when I first looked at these cards, which is, hold on, there are cards like Breath of Fire out there that cost 4, and that gets to get rid of a character and a location. Why is this one or? So, to be very clear, when we have... when it's not me. When the team created these cards, they've been created in line with the other cards of that realm. So they're not being. We try to design the cards based on what's the equivalent costs, what's the other type of cards we have in that realm, rather than looking at the other realms. So yeah, it's a good card. A lot of people agree with me that there aren't that many cards in there aren't that many cards in Spirited that allow a raise. And on top of that, don't forget that in Spirited Planum, you have cards like Dr. Kuniyasu that allows things to be cheaper. So ideally, you want to be able to pair this in palettes where you can make red and yellow or even green or Achroma cheaper so that it's even cheaper to play. And Serrano's Glare is 3 cost. Each other player must erase a card. So it's basically like Serrano, but rather than choosing a character or location, it's just, hey, you got to get rid of a card. So it's another version of Serrano, which is really cool. So Lewis, if I put it on Funguar and attack something with, say, a Prism Sprayer, does it deal poisonous to the object and then still poisonous to the character attached to it still? No. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, sorry. I say no. How many shards was Funguar's eggs again? 2. No. So the way poisonous works is, so let's say you add Funguar, which is a 2-cost card. Funguar is a 2-strength card with Funguar's eggs. So now, between Funguar and Funguar's eggs, you have 4 strength. Prism Sprayer is a 4-strength object. So when Funguar and Funguar's eggs attacks Prism Sprayer and the character, the 4 damage only erases the Prism Sprayer because none of the damage goes through to the character. You would need 5 damage to go through to the character. So in that situation where you got Funguar and Funguar's eggs versus any character with Prism Sprayer, the Prism Sprayer would get erased and would just jump to the next character that you have, and the Funguar and Funguar eggs would unfortunately be destroyed. Hopefully that answers your question, Lewis. In the meantime, what do we have next? So from the Norso Planum, you'll be very happy to see this trader's YouTube channel. So we've got Lakringi Soothing Totem. It costs 2. It's an object of power, and it has 1 prevent. Characters on all canvases may only attack once per turn. So this is effectively... I can see this being used in certain decks, but it probably won't be used in many. A lot of people will probably choose it purely for the fact that it has the prevent, because there isn't that much prevent in those realms, and prevent is really useful in multiplayer games. Otherwise, the ability, it's pretty much just a counter for Brascavi, let's be honest. But yeah, it's still a very, very good object. 2 cost for 1 prevent is nothing to turn your nose up at. And if people didn't already think traders were powerful, load the carts. It's a 2-cost action. This turn, each time you trade, you immediately +1, and you may trade when you deploy this card. So yes, load the cart is absolutely going to be going into every traders palette, because traders is going to be even more synergized with that card. I do not like load the cart. Yeah, traders is going to be really tough. Also, they could attack that character and then... Also, they could just attack that character and then carry on swinging. Yes, you're absolutely right, Lewis. That if you have Brascavi Raiders with Rage, you would want to make your first attack the Lakringi Soothing Totem, because if you erase that object, you can then Rage. So what I'd probably suggest is anybody playing Lakringi Soothing Totem, you probably want to put Soothing Totem on your most expensive character, or protect it behind other objects. Because don't forget, if you put more than 1 object on a character, you as the defender get to choose which object takes damage first. So maybe a tactic with Soothing Totem is put it onto a strong character that anybody is going to get erased if they attack, and also maybe attach a second object to that character so that the other object can almost be like a shield wall for Soothing Totem. Oh, you're absolutely right, Mongoose. Welcome to the stream. You're absolutely right that Lakringi Soothing Totem will also stop Club of Dagda. Although the same premise applies, as Lewis said, that you could still make your first attack the Lakringi Soothing Totem. But again, if you put it on a protected character or put it on a character that's really high shards, then the Club of Dagda is going to die in the first hit. But yes, 2 very, very cool cards. I think Soothing Totem I can see maybe not being as popular unless it's very specific circumstances. Load the carts for traders. That is top notch. All right, and then the last one I have to show you is, again from Wishwell, we have Corrupted Aurium and Enslave the Thrall. A bit dark, that one. So we've got Corrupted Aurium. It is an object of power, 3 cost, uncommon. The attached character cannot attack, and this card's controller must pay 1 additional shard to deploy cards. So effectively, you put Corrupted Aurium on someone else's character, and they now have to spend 1 extra shard to deploy anything from their hand. So it makes it really, really good to play to very card heavy palettes, you know, like Briscavi Raiders, Briscavi, Likuringi Holder Totems, because now suddenly where these cards are normally quite expensive already, they're going to have to pay even more. But keep in mind, you're still giving your opponent a 3-cost object of power, so there's definitely going to need to be a bit of a decision there. And also the attached character can't attack, so maybe give that to like maybe their Snorri, and now suddenly their Snorri can't attack. And then Enslave the Thrall, a 2-cost action. Choose a character, and until your next turn, their strength and shard value is 1. Yes. Yes, Enslave is going to be a super strong card. I can imagine that's going to go into most palettes, because that just makes it, even if you just had a little Achroma Worm out, you can now, you know, attack and kill a Detective Cronus and kill it. That's really, really strong. It's not perfect because you still have to, I think the reason why it's common is you still have to have some setup. You still have to have a character, because remember, it's only until my next turn. So you need to have a character on the board that can actually attack this turn. Otherwise, it could be wasted. Keep in mind, though, that you could pair this with cards like Likuringi Catapult. You could play Enslave the Thrall, make a card have a shard value of 1, and then play Likuringi Catapult to drain it. So it really, the reason I think it's common is you have to combo it with other cards to make it work. Also, to be fair, there isn't really much difference between a common and uncommon. Yeah, not really, no, not really. Theory crafting, could you Mutans a canvas, throw Corrupted Orpium, nerf the opponent whilst touchable? Yes. Yes, absolutely, Mongoose. So you could, yeah, give your opponent Mutans, which for those who don't know, Mutans is a realm runner, which you play on your opponent's canvas. And whilst Mutans on the board, every time they draw a card, they have to lose 2 shards. And then you could play Corrupted Aurium on top of Mutans, because now they can't attack with Mutans, and they're gonna have to pay 1 extra shard for a card they need to play, and lose 2 shards every time they draw. Mongoose, I suspect you're an Achroma player, because that's evil, my friend. That is evil. But yes, there is nothing wrong with you doing that ability. That's a very good thought, to be honest, theory crafting. All right. Those are our sneak peeks. What's our thoughts, folks? Pretty good, eh? I will put those into the Discord momentarily. And don't play against Spiritor and get role reverse. Yes, oh my gosh. Yeah, role reversing Mutans is going to be hilarious. Mutans can't attack, so it'd have to be on another character. You wouldn't have to place on another character. You could still put the object on. It just means that they have to get rid of Mutans to get rid of that. I look forward to seeing the eggs in your Fun Guard deck. Absolutely, you know it. Okay, I know you guys are waiting eagerly for the Easter egg, and for those who don't know, yes, I am going to be revealing a Easter egg hunt starting in this stream, where then you'll be able to go and find a teaser for Chapter 2 of Salem Planum. However, I'm going to do the community showcase first, and the reason why is you guys can be honest with me here. If I reveal the Easter egg hunt now, you would just leave stream. You guys would leave me on my lonesome, and you wouldn't check out the community content. So I haven't got a ton of community stuff to go through, but we're going to go through the community showcase, and then just before we end the stream, that's when I'm going to show you guys the community Easter egg hunt. So stick around, it's not going to be long. So community showcase. Firstly, I appreciate it's not loads, but this week in our Discord, we gained 3 members. So if you are one of those 3 members during this week, welcome to the Achroma community. You are more than welcome here. And if you have not yet joined our Discord, the link is down below. So let's have a look at some of the amazing community work that you guys have put in this week. So firstly, I have this amazingly cute art that has been drawn by Lewis. I believe it's your partner. Their name is... oh, I did write it down, and then... oh, no, there it is. From Kazbats in the Discords. So Kaz has made Pim the Imp as as a TTRPG character for when they play that soon. And we saw the kind of concept art last week, and they've gone ahead and actually drawn it fully, and I love this. Super, super cute. Whenever there's another alt art competition, I need to see Pim the Imp put into it, because I love it. Look at the excitement and the stars in Pim's eyes. Absolutely amazing. So well done, Kaz, for drawing that. Really, really talented work. And yeah, please make us submit it, Lewis. I can't wait to hear all the stories of Pim the Imp in the TTRPG coming soon. Very, very well done to Kaz. What else do we have? So I have some news about Draco Temple articles. So for those that know, one of our community members in the Discord called Echo, he runs a community-based article website called Draco Temple. The link of it is down below the stream. And he has released a few more articles this week. The first one he's released this week is he released... well, he's released a couple, but the ones I want to draw attention to, firstly, he did one which was a article about the card updates, the card erratas, and in that, he's made a really cool PDF which has all the card changes on it, which is a really good stepping stone of looking at the card changes whilst waiting for the card database to be updated, which hopefully will be soon as well, folks. And the second article that he did, he actually, this week, was given his very own sneak peek. So if you haven't already seen it, these were the expansion cards that he got to sneak peek earlier in the week. Now, I'd still recommend going and checking out his article because he has kind of broken down these two cards and discussed them in full. But we've got Contaminated Ballistic Spell and Roll with the Punches. I'm not going to discuss these cards fully on stream right now because what I want you to do is go click on that link down below and read Echo's article to see all about them. But very, very cool cards for the one for the Wishwell, one for Spiritor, and they're two cards that I actually think are going to be quite chosen quite a lot. I mean, you can read it for yourselves. Roll the Punches. Characters can deploy this. Characters deployed this turn can attack, basically getting rid of that summoning sickness. And Contaminated Ballistic Spell. The attached character can't attack, and the controller must pay 2 shards during the resolve step. So that is brutal. With Mutans as well. Mutans with Corrupted Belt, and suddenly they're having to do -4 every turn. Absolutely nutty. But yeah, well done to Echo for making those news articles, and make sure you go check him out. My music had just stopped, so let me just start that from there again. What else have we got? So we've also had a new article from Tales of the Badger Set. So Tales of the Badger Set is a community-made podcast, which you can find on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and it's run by Charging Badger in our Discord. What he does is he takes the short stories that are written on the website for Achroma, and he does voice acting and essentially does a audio podcast of those short stories. So if you're like me, and I don't actually do very much reading, I'm not a big fan of reading stories, but you still love the lore. This is a really, really good way of getting a quick fix for the lore. Each episode is relatively short, only 3 to 6 minutes, depending on the size of the story. I personally love listening to them whilst I'm actually working on the next stream. What I really like about it is he puts loads of like sound effects. Like if you're walking in a forest, he'll play like forest sounds or rain pattering down. When people are having a conversation, he'll have like voices like muttering in the background. It really builds the story around you whilst he's reading it out. And he puts on a few voices as well. So if you haven't checked out Tales of the Badger Set, the link is down below. Episode 5 has come out this week. Definitely go check it out and give him some support because he's doing an awesome job of that. So thank you to Charging Badger for that. And then the last bit of kind of like community showcase when it comes to the kind of art and the things people are creating is one of our resident artists, Marco. He does have an Instagram account, and he posted, this is one of the 2 images that he posted, which is kind of like a collection of some of the really cool drawings that he did for Achroma. If you haven't checked out Marco's Instagram, please, again, I know I keep asking about all these different links down below, but they're all down there and they're all amazing. Go check out Marco's Instagram link down below, because not only has he posted some Achroma art in these really cool formats, but he's also got some amazing other art that you should definitely go check out. So thank you, Marco, for sharing these with us this week. Some interesting art in there. Yes, I know, right? Some that may or may not have even been shown yet. And then the last thing for Community Showcase is I always like to show some of the palette builds. So our very, very creative members of our Discord. Yes, you even get a shout out, Marco. Of course you do, because you're still a creator, and you've made some awesome content. So any content you do make, pop it in creators, then I'll shout you out. I almost had a rude word there. Oh, that better not get clipped. So yeah, some of our creative members also create some amazing palette builds in our Discord. So if you're in the Discord, there's a channel called Canvas Forum. Didn't hear you were that close. There's a Canvas forum where you can post pictures of palettes that you've built, and you can get feedback on them, and give people a chance to have a go at them. So I've got 2 palettes to show you this week. The first one was made by Dickon in the community. So Dickon has made this Bruscavi Raiders palette. It's a bit of a hybrid. As you can see, it does have a lot of purple cards in it, which are the Lacringi miners. I think he I think he worded this in the Discord that it's like the Prescriber Raiders have convinced a couple of the miners to join their cause. So this is very much a Prescriber Raiders palette, but with more objects of power that will get him some more gain and some miners. I like this because one of the hardest on the phone to HR, one of the hardest things with Prescriber palettes is getting your getting your natural gain. It can be very expensive to play an Achroma deck. So he's got a Lakringi Mines in here for that +2. A Lakringi Forge in there for a +2, a couple of Aurium Drills and Miners and Aurium Twines and Catapults. You know, there's a decent amount of gain in there. The nice Wishful Market Stall for the +1 every time someone deploys a card. So yeah, it's got a really nice amount of gain while still having the core elements of a Prescriber Raider palette, which is your Snorre, your Gunnar, your Brynhild, your array of Prescriber Trolls, your Totems, which can stack up a loads of steel. Overall, a very, very good palette. The only feedback that I personally had for Dickon in this one is that it doesn't have very much card control. What I mean by card control is a way of removing somebody else's character away apart from attacking. You have one Prescriber Rage for attacking locations. You have one Lakringi Catapult, which gets rid of a 2-shard card, and that's it. So the one thing that you might struggle with this palette is being able to manage what your opponent is doing. But that being said, still a very, very good palette. Dickon, well done for making this one. Please let us know how it goes in your testing games. And if anybody wants to give any further feedback to him or wants to try out the deck for themselves and then give him some feedback, then it's in the Discord under Canvas Forum. But well done. And then I have one other palette to show, which was created by Darth, and this one was called Spiritor Achroma. So again, we're looking at hybrid palettes today. So this has got Splat Morail in it. You can see the legendaries have a bit of steel, a bit of gain, and then we've got a nice mixture of gain and drain and steel in this. I think that, you know, the good thing with Spiritor Planum is that all of the cards just work well. You know, I can notice here that you've got 2 Lava Fountains, which reduces the shard cost by 1 red. And you've got a lot of cards with red here. You've got Full Palette, Splat Teachers, Prism Sprayer, Sprat Morail, Soaking Stones. I'm guessing it's mainly for the Sprat Morail. You've got a decent amount of control with your Carmelas, your Bounces, you know, the Achroma Corruptor. Got good card draw with the Imp, good overall gain thanks to the full palettes and the, you know, just generally you can see the gain cards there. Bit of prevent. The only thing I would say about this palette personally, I don't know about you guys, is that as much as I love seeing Sprat Morail being chosen because he doesn't get played very often, I did say to Darth in the Discord, I personally think that as much as I love seeing Sprat Morail being played, I think Spiral would be a better choice for the Legendary. Reason being is that Spiral's ability, his main ability, is that you may draw and trade during your draw and trade step, which is only really useful if you are actually doing a trade as well as a draw. But I feel like when you actually look at all the cards here, firstly, there's not actually any cards that cost 4 or more that I would actually think are worth trading, that you would actually want to trade. Maybe a Castle Gates, but you wouldn't want to trade your Legendary. So really, you're not actually getting that much value out of the trade. Like, you know, there isn't any cards that I would be happy to throw away sort of thing. Splat Teachers are nice, but I'd rather see Senior Painters. Yeah, I mean, the Splat Teacher's good. It reduces by yellow, and you've got a lot of yellow around, but yeah, it could be. So yeah, overall, I think it's a very, very good palette. I personally would like to, I think it would be better if Spiral was in there, but that's more of a competitive side of me. From a fun palette's perspective, I think this is a really, really cool palette. Synergizes really well, and it's nice to see Sprat being used. So well done to Darth for creating this one. And as, again, if you guys want to leave any feedback, it's all in the Discord. So, folks, I did say this was going to be a relatively short stream. We're at the hour mark. Are you guys ready and excited for an Easter egg hunt? So, I'm going to post it live in just a moment. You can see I've got the article ready to go up here. In fact, I'm just going to minus that for now. So, I'm going to explain to you guys what the Easter egg hunt is going to be, and then just as I'm ending stream, I'm going to release the news article on the website, which will have the first clue, and I'll read it out on stream as well. You tried checking the URL, but it wasn't live. No, it's not live just yet. So here is how the egg hunt is going to work. Across the Achroma website, achroma.cards, I have hidden a multitude. I won't say how many. I have hidden many Easter eggs. Now, what's the point? Each Easter egg you find will give you a piece of unique lore. So there will be a bit of lore that you'll find out. And on top of that, you will also then get a clue which will direct you towards where the next Easter egg might be found. Now, at the end of the Easter egg trail, when you find the final Easter egg, you will find the first ever image teaser for Chapter 2 of Salem Planum. Now, to be very clear, I can't strongly enough say it is a teaser image. It is very cryptic. It's not going to tell you very much, but it will get the cogs going and get you thinking. So yes, so you need to be finding these Easter eggs on the website. But what are these Easter eggs? I hear you say. So the Easter eggs are not physical Easter eggs. You're not looking for an actual egg on the website. That'd be too easy. Instead, they are hyperlinks. So what I've done is throughout our entire Achroma.cards website, there are hyperlinks. Now, if you haven't seen this on the website before, and I can do a quick demonstration as an example. Here we go. Let me just go to Achroma.cards. Oh. There we go. So when you are looking at our website, an example of a hyperlink, if I just go to the what is Achroma page. Well, actually, if I just go to one of my news articles, that's probably easier. So on our website, you'll notice that, see how certain things are underlined? So where it says Salem Spring Season underlined, where something is underlined, that means it's a hyperlink. So if I click on Salem Spring Season, it will load up to the Salem Spring article that I did before. So what you're looking for with the Easter eggs is underlined words. So there is a lot of them on the website. So theoretically, you could just go through the entire website and click on every underlined word. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. But the clues will guide you to the correct one. And that's it, really. You need to follow the clue and get the right one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to this scene just for a second, just so I can make the article go live and you guys not see the page. There we go. So the Easter egg hunt is now live. So if you want to read the news article, it is on there. But let me give you... Oh, there's 5 Achroma eggs. I wasn't sure if I actually researched. So there's 5 Achroma eggs. So let me give you the first clue on stream, and I'll leave you guys to go and look at it. So your first clue. The first release of Chapter 1 is where your journey starts. The name of the mayor of Curdle Hill will uncover the next part. There we go. So as it says, what next? Go searching for your first egg. If you get stuck or want to know the teaser, then don't worry. We will reveal the teaser in a few days' time on all social medias anyway. But if you want to be the first to see it, you better get looking. Any questions? If so, let me know in chat. It's just a bit of fun. It's a bit of fun for Easter, but hopefully you guys enjoy it. Okay. But with that, folks, that does bring me to the end of the Achroma weekly stream. Or what I will say as well, for the Easter egg hunt specifically, if you want to keep it spoiler-free for others, I have created a Discord channel called Egg Hunt Chat. So feel free to talk in there, but be aware there might be spoilers. So if you want to remain spoiler-free and figure out by yourself, do not look at that chat. And anybody that wants to talk about the Easter egg hunt in the Discord, please keep it all to that channel. Do not put it anywhere else, just so that no one else sees spoilers. But yes, that is the end of this week's Achroma weekly stream on the 9th of April. Again, happy Easter to everybody. Next week, we will have the usual array of more sneak peeks and more news. But for now, I hope you all enjoy your extra bank holiday tomorrow for those that have it off, and enjoy your week as it goes. I have been Charles Barton, your Achroma community coordinator, otherwise Viridian in the Discords, and I will leave it there. What is going to happen next is I will jump into table 1 of the Discord. So if you guys want to come and chat with me and talk about this week's sneak peeks, or talk about the Easter egg hunt and play some games of Achroma, I will be over there. Otherwise, I'll see you around, folks. See you in the next one.